Hey, my lovely beings. Welcome back to another episode of Selfish Therapy. If you're new here, I'm your host, Lyrae. On this channel, we talk about any and everything self-therapy. So if you're not ready to do the work, this may not be the channel for you. Over here, you show your support by subscribing to my channel, turning on your post notification bell so whenever I post new episodes, you are notified first. Do not forget to leave me a thumbs up if you do like my videos. Don't forget to make sure that you watch my other episodes, as well as leave me a comment below. Let me hear what your thoughts are on the episodes that we talk about on here. So with that said, guys, I'm sure you see what the title is about today, and you clicked in this video because you're interested. So let's get right on. So as you see on the topic, guys, the reason I wanted to talk about integrity today is I feel like as a people, we're lost. As a nation, we're lost. It's almost like it's becoming non-existent. And it's not fully gone. But I don't know if it's just me, but it just appears that people find it a lot harder to do the right thing. And I don't know if that just means because we're in a time of exposure where people are actually being exposed for who they truly are. And it's a possibility that this has been going on before, but it just wasn't in the open, or it's something new that people are actually doing now. It just seems like people are just blatantly dishonest. And I know it was always there. It just seems that it has grown so much. And I've experienced this in real life. I see this in the workplaces. I see this in churches. I see this in your family. I see this happening a lot, and I felt the need to talk about it only because of the volume of how it keeps coming up and popping up. I just feel like my little 2 cents, I don't know, maybe somebody look at it and be like, yo, let me think about this. So, I wanted to just touch in so that we can tap in ourselves a little bit to see what side of the spectrum we are operating from when it comes to integrity. Are we operating with strong moral principles? Are we honest? Can we be trusted even when, behind closed doors? So how do we know this? It's kind of like a self-measure. It's looking at yourself internally, looking at your actions and see what are some of the things that you're doing that may not fall on the right side of the spectrum, right? According to, certain ethical behaviors, what your morals are. How are you adding up? So, and I wanted to say this because I feel like, yes, I think there's somewhere like a gray area where people believe that just because they're not doing it doesn't mean that they're doing anything wrong. And that is not true. As long as you're a co-signer and don't feel like you turning a blind eye to it doesn't mean that you're clean, you're squeaky clean. You can't, a lot of these people that are coming out right now, let's talk about it. The Diddy story, the R. Kelly, how long ago, the Steve Harvey, the Harvey Weinstein, all of them, right? Now, I don't know that these things are happening as a fact, right? But let's say they are. None of them could operate the way that they have been for as long as they have been without somebody in their corner. Somebody had to support it. Somebody turned a blind eye and said, it's not my business, so I'm not going to do it. I always say this, guys. We talk about the freedom that we have today, if we go back if we talk about how it used to be back in the day, right? Way before, where with our ancestors, what they had to go through, and the fight that they had to fight to get here. We talk about the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X, the Harriet Tubman, and we talk about all these people, the Rosa Parks. Guess what? Somebody had to stand up. Somebody had to walk in a line of fire just to get what they feel like is right. And we all now are benefiting from those fights, from those bravery. And I say that to say, it may not be a big of a fight, or so you think. But when you are in a workplace and you see somebody abusing their power and you turn a blind eye to it, you see somebody just not doing what they're supposed to do, not operating from an honest standpoint, and you said, oh, it's not me, so I'm just going to not worry about it, right? So I asked this question today, and I want you to ask yourself this question. In a scenario where somebody is operating with a lack of integrity, where do you fall on the spectrum? This is something that you're seeing. Where do you fall on this? What side of the spectrum? Are you the person that it doesn't affect you, so it's not your business, so you don't say anything or do anything? Are you the person that is doing it? Are you the person that is co-signing, like supporting in terms of, I'll, pretty much hide behind me type of a thing? Or are you the person that speaks up, that stands up for what is right? Where do you fall in the fire? Because I guarantee you this, when something is happening, if you're the person that says that it's not your business, guess what? One day it will become yours. When we talk about the little things, for example, if we talk about somebody doing something to somebody else's child in the school, you turn a blind eye because it's not your child, but what if it was? Or what happens when it's your turn? Would you want somebody to speak up? What happens when it's happening to you? Would you want somebody to advocate for you? Right? So we talk about the people that turn a blind eye. We talk about the people that is blatantly supporting wrongful behavior. The people that are actually doing it and being dishonest and deceiving people and hurting people, and we turn a blind eye. Like, how? How do you sleep at night knowing that you're purposely or intentionally hurting, deceiving, lying to a person? How? How do you sleep at night knowing that you cannot be trusted? Or do you even care? Do you even care? And if you don't care, there's the problem. You might need to figure out why. Why is it that your humanity scale is literally at low, right? At its lowest. Maybe we need to check that, right? And I say that because we all have a responsibility of making sure that we are willingly and intentionally trying to do the right thing. And we're willingly and intentionally advocating for the people that need us. Not everybody has the fight in them. I get it. But you can speak up. You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie for a person. You can say exactly what happened, right? Don't turn a blind eye, because how are we going to have a better world or create a better future for our children or the next generation if we are a part of the problem? right? I saw the story the other day that popped up about TD Jake's daughter Cora, and there's this story that came up where this young lady, I forgot what her name is, the young lady was on this podcast, literally just talking about expressing. She's literally been campaigning, going on different podcasts, just talking about her experience with the Jake's family. And one of the things that she said is that she wants her child. So the headline literally said, TD Jake's daughter stole my child. So obviously, when you see that, people are gonna look. Is it like a way for people to click into the video? Absolutely. I think it was genius because people want to know. TD Jakes is a well-known pastor from the Dallas, Texas area. I think he has a different locations. One should be here, also in Atlanta, Georgia, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, he's well-known. And lately his name has been popping up in so many different areas of mess that should not happen. But we all know that it doesn't necessarily mean that it's all facts. This could just be, a plan, a works of the enemy. I get it. But this story was about this young lady saying that Cora, which is TD Jake's daughter, literally kind of tricked her in giving up her child to her, which is her Cora. And the young lady saying she wants her child. She wants to get her baby. And the way how she tells the story, listen, I don't know. Again, I don't know. This is all based on what this young lady's saying. And basically she's saying that, she had this child when she was younger. She was pretty naive and didn't fully understand what was happening. And somebody of that caliber that has that power, she's basically saying that she kind of manipulated her to sign her child over to her. She kind of like painted the picture to say that the young lady was not stable enough. She said she did go through depression. She did admit that through depression, and she was just in shock that she was having another child, because I think she said that was her fourth child at 21. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it should be on YouTube somewhere. But she was saying that she was just so young and naive. She trusted in Cora, and she felt like she signed her child. She kind of tricked her into signing away her child. And she's been fighting this for some time. And one of the things that the young lady said, she said both First Lady, which is TD Jake's wife, and TD Jakes knew of this issue, but they were basically turning a blind eye to it. She said that First Lady said to her that, listen, I know that you're right. I know what you're going through and I understand, but I have to stand with my daughter. This is what she said. I didn't hear it, but we're just going to say if all of this is true, I felt the story was, it touched me a little bit because I couldn't imagine being shut out of my child's life the way that she's painting that picture to be, right? And as hard as she's going, trying to get her child, it's really mind-boggling that it had to come this far, and you birthed your child. You brought your child into this world, and you have to fight somebody else for your child. And you practically don't have the influence of how your child is being raised, or you have no say-so. And I just cannot imagine going through a situation where my flesh and blood, I'm pretty much blocked from. I can't imagine it. So I felt her pain. Whether the story that she's giving is how it went down or not, just the fact that we're dealing with a situation like this, and a woman just she's not able to get access to her child. And on top of that, there was a story that came out publicly. Right now, Cora's husband is serving time because he molested one of, I think, their adopted children, or I don't know if it's their children, but a little girl that was there. It came out that he was molesting her, allegedly. Let me say that. Molesting the girl. So now he's pretty much doing time, allegedly. This is pretty much what the media is saying, right? I don't follow it up, so I don't know. But this story came out. I did see some story around that, and this young lady said that. So she was, one of the things that she was bringing up is like, oh my God, how can I sleep and live knowing that my child was in this same household with this kind of scandal, and to be found guilty, and I still don't have access to my child, and nobody respected me enough to at least let me in to be able to talk to my child. So I get it. If that's the way it's really going down, I really get it, and I really feel for her. You know, coming back to the moral aspect of things and the lack of integrity that I speak about with people all the time, it's becoming just so blatant and so open and widespread that the children that are coming up behind us, that's what they know now. It's almost like they're being trained to turn off the human side of things, turn off the feelings. You're not supposed to be feeling the compassionate side of things. Like, it's really, really sad. And when you're not able to connect with that aspect of it, guess what? How are you going to operate from a moral standpoint? How are you going to operate? How are you going to be willing and be intentional about doing the right thing even when nobody else is looking? How will you do that? How do you have a gauge? How? I don't know what's that. It's a train. Right? It's going to be hard because you don't know how to measure that. You don't even know how it's almost like it's all intertwined, the what's right and what's wrong. It's like a blind sight for everybody, for most, right? And it's really, really sad. It's really sad. So how do we get back to that? It starts with us. Individually, one by one, we have to do the work on being intentional, stepping out willingly to do what is right, regardless of what it's going to cost us. Regardless of what the cost is, are you operating on the right side of the spectrum? How willing are you to stand up for what is right, even if that means that you're going to lose it? You're going to lose stuff. You're going to become the bad guy. You're going to become the underdog, right? How willing are you? Where is that fight? Are you only going to find that fight when it's close to home? When it's only happening to somebody that you love or care about? Where is your humanity gear? We are being lost. We are lost. It's too big of a problem that we're turning a blind eye to. And this is festering. It's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. The more we stay quiet, the bigger it grows, right? And the more it becomes normal for us to do the same things. Because that seed is being planted, and the more it's thrown in our faces, it becomes the norm for us to do. And before you know it, you no longer have a gauge for what is right versus what's wrong. So what part are you playing? What side of the spectrum are you? And when are you standing up? Are you only standing up when it's beneficial for you and your loved ones? Let's think about that. So I'm going to leave you guys on that note. Where are you on the integrity scale? How honest are you? How willing and intentional are you to do what is right versus what's wrong? And are you willing to speak up and fight for our nation? All right. So with that said, I'm going to love you guys and leave you. I hope that this was a seed planted today for you guys to start thinking about it. You don't have to be on a huge platform to try and make a difference. You can start where you are and start with who you are around. Open your eyes, be aware, and speak up when necessary, because it's just that small step that makes the difference. All right, so that's all I'm going to say. I love you guys, and until the next episode, I love you. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your post notification bell so whenever I post new episodes, you're notified. Leave me a thumbs up if you like this video, and please drop a comment below. Let me hear what your thoughts are on tonight's episode. So with that said, I will see you next time. I love you guys. Bye for now.